Hi, my name is Diaz, and today for the project, I'm going to use the movie Anastasia. Okay, so this movie is about a girl named Anastasia who does not know that she is the lost princess of Russia. She was left in an orphanage after a mystic man called Rasputin put a curse on the family. Her family died, and she was left alone. The only clue to her past is a necklace that says, "Together in Paris." So when she's 18, she leaves the orphanage and goes on a journey to Paris to figure out her past, find her future, and in the process falls in love with a con man named Dmitri. So first we're going to talk about the Freudian concepts. We can see the psychoanalytic characters in Rasputin, who is the id. He is a hedonistic character who relies on instant gratification. He has pleasure in seeing Anastasia dead, and he is distraught when he finds out that she's alive, and is inflexible because he continues to try to get her even though he fails a few times. Then we have the ego seen in Anastasia. She relies on the reality principle. She is down to earth, but still knows that good things could happen as she hopes to find her family, but realizes her past and knows that she was an orphan, so doesn't assume that she's anything special, though she is the princess. Then we have the superego. We have Bartok, a little bat, and he is Rasputin's sidekick and his moral character, who tells Rasputin that maybe he shouldn't set on this plan to kill her and should just move on. Then we have the psychosexual stages. We have the oral stage, that you can see in Bartok's, who has an oral fixation. He is very dependent on Rasputin and is very loyal to him and is very optimistic the whole time, always cheering him up and telling him good things while calling him sir and master. Then we have the anal stage, where we have Dowager Empress Marie, who is Anastasia's grandmother. She is very organized and tidy in her life. She always wants to be in control. And you can see that in the way that she sets on this plan to find Anastasia and then one day decides that she doesn't want to anymore and does not take anybody to come and see her until a change of events that I will talk about later. Now we will talk about the Jungian concepts. He talks about the unconscious. There is the personal unconscious and the collective. For the personal, we have the shadow, the anima, and the animus. In the shadow, we have poor Dmitri, who you can see at the beginning of the story as he is the servant that works in the castle with Anastasia. He grows up, he is no longer poor, and he sets out to make something of himself. So the shadow is him not successful. And you can see that he tries to get away from that as he tries to get the reward for getting Anastasia to Paris and to her grandmother. Then we have the anima, which is Rasputin, who is possessed with this anima as he displays moody and emotional characteristics. He is very distraught when he finds out that Anastasia is alive, but then becomes very joyous and hysterical as he figures out plans to stop her, even though he fails, and it's just an ongoing cycle that keeps on going. For the animus, there was no representation. Then for the collective unconscious, we have the same, the shadow, the anima, and the animus, but we also have other representations. And you can see those as the Great Mother, who is the Dowager Empress Marie. She is the sign of a family, of love, and is the only mother figure in Anastasia's life, even though she finds her late. We have the spiritual father, who is the dog, Puka. He guides her to where she needs to go at various instances in the movie. One instance is at the beginning where she's at a fork in the road and she can either go to a job that has already been found for her or she could go to St. Petersburg, and the dog leads her to St. Petersburg by taking her scarf. Then another instance is when he sniffs the bag of Dmitri and finds a music box. In that music box is the present that her grandma gave her years ago, and it's another clue to her past. Then we have the hero, who is Dmitri. He is a man that's good at his skill as a con. He uses this trade to better himself, especially financially. And he also saves Anastasia both figuratively and physically. Figuratively is how he finds her takes her to Paris and reunites her with her family, and how he saves her physically from Rasputin in a final fight scene. Then we have the trickster, who is Bartox. He is lovable, witty, and always making jokes. Then we have the mandala, who is Vladimir. He is the other person that accompanies her on her journey to Paris with Dmitri, and he serves as her confidant, and he helps her so that she can know that the future is a good thing, and specifically tells her there's nothing left for you in St. Petersburg. Then we have the transformation symbol, and that is the music box. The music box is the final clue to her past, and it's what makes her finally realize that she is the lost princess, and then she starts a new life. So, in conclusion, we have that Jungian concepts seem more relatable to the story than do Freud's concepts, partly due because of the characters that were chosen in the actual movie, but mostly because Jung's theories take a better look at personalities than do Freud's. These concepts help explain all the characters except the main character, which is a good thing because it shows how these different people and these different representations help her on her journey to find herself. Thank you.